Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants, and of course I am your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicate, Tim Vincent. We're going to Raw this week. Was in Dallas, Texas, and well, much like we always do, before we get into this week, we're going to switch gears and talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind. But before we do, folks, this episode is on Halloween, so hope all y'all had a good Halloween. Hope all y'all got a chance to go and binge out on some good candy, some good horror movies, maybe some good other type of adult horror-like things. But I know some of y'all were probably hoping I would do something special for Halloween and dress up in a particular way. Then I realized, well, I could make the argument I dressed like I just came from a 90s hardcore show, but, well, that's basically my everyday attire, so can't really say that's a costume. But now that I'm done complaining about my sense of fashion, let's get into the SmackDown Rewind. The big highlights from last week's SmackDown. It started out no opening promo match right away. It was the Brawling Brutes, Butch and Ridge Holland, going against Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa with the Usos ringside. And this came to be, like I said before, Sheamus, he got taken out, had a chair rammed into his shoulder. That was a storyline injury. So that way, that Friday of the SmackDown, Jimmy wound up getting married. Congratulations to him and his beautiful new wife as well. And as far as this match went, this was a good match. I dug it. And really liked the underlying story with Sami arguing with Jay still going on. Butch and Ridge got the win, and then Sami and Jay started going back and forth, squabbling, and then cue the music, and out comes the Tribal Chief, and everyone in the bloodline just looks like, oh. Like, you know, like when you're fighting, you know, like when you're fucking around with your brothers, and then next thing you know, like mom or dad just come in from work, and you're like, oh fuck, we're in for it now. But no one else? Just me? Well, damn. Shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, well, either way. Roman comes down. He then says, you two need to settle your issues once and for all. Jay gets on the mic, talks about on how he don't like Sami, he don't feel he's an honorary use, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. He don't like his stupid haircut, he don't like his stupid beard, all that jazz. Sami gets on the mic, trying to plead with Jay and then saying, you know, you're not being very oozy, which made just about everyone break and just start laughing and going off. And, you know, Sami Zayn has been, honest to God, on fucking fire since he did that. Can't even say he's been on fire since he started doing this. He's been on fire since he started going crazy doing the documentary shit. This is just a whole other layer to him now. You know? And I fucking love it. Afterwards, though, then him and Jay start going back and forth. I'm just trying to do what the Tribal Chief says. And then Jay, man, I don't give a damn about I'm just trying to do what the Tribal Chief wants us to do. And I don't give a damn about the Tribal Chief. And then Roman just head pops up like, what'd you say, motherfucker? Like, oh, damn. Roman then looks at him like, you know, this issue's going to be settled real easy. Can be settled real easy. Instead of having Sami be an honorary use, make him full blown. Instead of Sami Zayn, be Sami Uso. And all the while, Jay is fighting the urge not to laugh. And the more he's trying to look away from the camera to laugh, the more Roman keeps bringing him in for it like that. And it's just like, oh man, It was fucking comedy gold, man. It was gold. After that, then he had the wise man, my savior, Paul Heyman, hype up the Crown Jewel match coming up this Saturday. So, yeah. Maximum Male Models wound up having a tag match against the New Day. New Day wound up getting the win. Not much of a big shocker there. The big story behind that match was the build-up video before the match, where it was, they were saying that they were coming after the New Day for the tag titles because there you don't want them breaking their tag title reign. Ronda Rousey wound up doing an open challenge, and it was to the returning Tennille Dashwood, also known as Emma. And look, I know a lot of people had a lot to say about it. Like, oh, they brought Emma back. Yeah, oh, they brought her back just to have her job in Ronda. What the hell? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, let me ask you this. The bringing Emma back part aside, let's just put that on the shelf for a minute. The whole concept. Okay, you got Ronda going out there doing an open challenge. You know she's obviously going to win. So who are you going to put her up against? Because no matter what, people are going to be all up in arms and bitch and say, oh, I can't believe they had insert name here. Job to fucking Ronda, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so tell me, who would you book in Emma's place? Not only that, not just that, somebody who can get possibly the best possible match out of Ronda. Because, well, let's face facts, she's still relatively new to the business and still learning the ropes. So, yeah. And you don't have to agree with anything I say, but if you got a counterpoint, I'd love to hear it. Say something in the comments. Legado del Fantasma wound up doing a trios match against Hit Row and Shinsuke Nakamura. And Nakamura, man, Nakamura's not just big shocker for this match, but man, he fucking broke major news the other day on the fucking internet, because it was announced in January he's going to be participating in a match in Japan against the Great Muta my first thought was, holy fuck. And then after the initial shock set in, my second thought was, you know, I don't ever want to hear anyone say WWE isn't willing to work with outside companies, because they can. It's just a matter of how is it, and pardon the pun, because this was the big hot sell point tag, or hot phrase a couple years back. What is best for business? And that's the key point. You can have any company work with any company, no problem. Here's the thing at the end of the day though. How is it best for business for both companies? How does it help both? And, you know, Shin, who's already a big name in Japan, hands down one, you know, major player in New Japan. No doubt on that. And when he went to WWE, everyone was all, oh my god, oh, please don't tell me they're going to make him horrible. And, you know, you can argue whether he had good matches, bad matches, good stories, bad stories, all you want. But at the end of the day, if he didn't want to be there, he wouldn't have signed a contract to be there. He wouldn't still choose to be there. No different than anyone else. It's just like if you're not happy working at a Wendy's. Nobody's forcing you to work at that Wendy's. You want to leave? Go. Go home. Leave. Quit. Find a way to get fired. Do whatever you gotta to get out of there. That's it, plain and simple. Karrion Kross had a match against Moss. Moss had a nice showing, but obviously Kross got the win. It was to help build him up, make him look good for his upcoming cage match against McIntyre. And then the show closed with a Bray Wyatt segment. Bray, and I'm all paraphrasing this, mind you, but basically saying, I know I've done a lot of wrong, I'm not ashamed of it, and I know I'm going to have to go down that road again, and I'm afraid I'm going to like it. And then you see a video of guy calling himself Uncle Howdy, which Uncle Howdy looks an awful lot like Bray's real life uncle, Barry Windham, but that's just the mask though. Whoever Uncle Howdy is, don't know. 10 get you 20. It might be Bo. A lot of people are speculating it's Bo Dallas, but yeah. So that is it for the SmackDown Rewind. So with that said, let's get into this week's show. Raw, Dallas, Texas, and it starts out with Bianca Belair going up against one Nikki Cross. And folks, it's official. Crazy Nikki's back. Came out with the Sanity music. She didn't have the same look from Sanity, but just, yeah, Crazy Nikki's back. So I'm slightly scared because Crazy Nikki was the closest equivalent to the Crazy Ex that stabbed me with a pencil once. Yeah, I'm scared. Hold me. So as far as this match went, it was a good match. I liked it. Nikki was really leading it for the most part, and rightfully so, because it was a good way to help establish the new character persona, so to say. You know, but Damage Control wound up coming down. She took all of them out and then came back in. Bianca, it gave Bianca enough time to rest up for a minute. And then, boom, popped her with a KOD. 1, 2, 3, that was it. Afterwards, Damage Control, Bayley and her girls then did a beatdown on her. And then we see the return of... See, I got so excited I started to get into a coughing fit. Then we saw the return of Asuka and doggy little Miss Bliss. Then they cleared the ring. Then they issued a challenge to Io and Dakota Kai for the women's tag titles later on in the show, which they accept, and we'll get into that match later on. Next up, we got Theory going against Seth Rollins. So now we go from Apprentice and Master going against adversaries. Seth, he was leading at the start. Theory wound up leading into the break of the match, leading into the commercial break, and then Seth wound up leading post-break. This was a good match. I dug it, you know. I dug it. It was a nice, you know, the basic story was Theory was mad that when Seth was on commentary last week for Theory's match, he was saying that he's not going to live up to Seth's cash-in. He's not going to live up to the Seth Rollins level of, Seth Rollins level of a cash-in for his Money in the Bank contract. And, well, quite possibly, I don't see another cash-in having that big of a wow, oh my god factor. Because, really, you could do another cash-in at WrestleMania. Okay, cool. But, dude, no, I don't see it. I don't see the big shock and awe like, he's gonna do it! Oh my god, he's gonna win! Like, yeah. Then you gotta remember the demand to have that person want to be champion, too. So, match came to an end when Theory started to build up the comeback. He butterflied Seth's arms, looking like for a pedigree. Seth wound up countering it, knocked him down, and then popped him with a curb stomp. 1, 2, 3, that was it. Next up, we had Damian Priest going against Karl Anderson. And you know, Graves and Kevin Patrick were emphasizing about Rhea Ripley last week, which made the gears in the head turn, and I came to a conclusion on something. Triple H needs to lock Rhea Ripley down on like one of them Bret Hart 20-year contracts because, and hear me out on why. Just imagine, in the off chance, Rhea left WWE, then she went to AEW. And if they put a match against Rhea Ripley against Jamie Hayter, the internet fanboys would have a perpetual boner, the likes of which it would be like the first time it'd be the equivalent of like the first time a 13-year-old discovers internet porn. It'd just be like, thing, yeah. So yeah, if Triple H ever comes across this, lock Rhea down in one of them old alleged Bret Hart 20-year contracts, please, just for that sake alone. So with that said, now let's get into this match. Damian Priest versus Karl Anderson. Priest, he was pretty much leading the match into the break. Afterwards, Anderson wound up building up a comeback after the commercial break. It was a short match, kind of on there, you know. Didn't feel hot, didn't feel cold. Just kind of felt like TV filler to me. But it was meant to help build the established story leading up to Crown Jewel coming up this Saturday for their trios match. Match came to an end when Anderson countered the Reckoning into doing a backslide, 1, 2, 3, that was it. Afterwards, then there was a post-match beatdown where all of Judgment Day took down Gallows, Anderson, and AJ, so yeah. Next up, we got Matt Riddle going against Otis in a trick or street fight, which, you know, say what you want, but man, the trick or street fight and the Miracle on 34th Street fights are absolutely campy, and if they're done right, it is fucking beautiful. And this was done right in a way I'm still laughing about, and the show was long over. Riddle came down with Elias, unfortunately, dressed up like Elias's brother, Ezekiel. And Chad Gable and Otis came down doing the rendition from Saturday Night Live of Patrick Swayze and Chris Farley doing the Chippendales dance, and I fucking felt like I'm still laughing about it when I think about it. Oh man. That was fucking beautiful. The way they both did it. Yeah, it was just, it was beautiful. And I guarantee if Vince McMahon was there, he would have looked at that and doing, God damn, oh, look at, oh, they're out there, oh, they're shaking, and they're gyrating, look at that belly, God damn, that's such good shit, pal. Yeah. So as far as the match goes, Riddle, he was leading into the break. Otis wound up leading into the second post break. This one did not feel like filler, but the ending was kind of But I think that's more so because of the camera angle. It was Otis was building up momentum, looking like he was getting ready to end it. Elias then jammed a pumpkin on Otis's head so he couldn't see, and then Riddle popped him with an RKO. But the way Riddle came down, you could see the pumpkin popped off of his head as he was coming down. And I don't know, just to me it was like, it would have looked so much cooler if he would have wound up popping that while the pumpkin was on him. There's somebody to try and say that sentence 3 times fast. Because I sure as hell am not. Either way, next up we got Miz going against Mustafa Ali. And this match was scheduled, but the build-up for this match came to be because Roman was out there earlier in the show talking about his match coming up against Logan Paul. And then Miz came out saying, listen, I know more about Logan Paul than anyone else in this company, really, because in a way, I've kind of brought him in here, which, pause, Miz, technically you did not. technically, Sami Zayn introduced Logan Paul into the WWE world when he brought him in as a guest for his trailer debut for his documentary. With that said, on pause, and then he was saying, if you can help me, you help me with my issue with Dexter Lumis, I can help you with your issue with Logan Paul. And Roman's just looking like, so you scratch my back, I scratch yours kind of deal? Yeah, exactly. And then they were emphasizing on how Logan Paul's got screws and bolts put in his hand, so it makes his punch more dangerous. You know, basically kind of like the same deal that they said about with Lex Luger, having a steel plate in his forearm, so it made it dangerous, this, that, and the other. And Roman's just like, you know, everyone keeps talking about if Logan Paul knocks me out. Nobody ever says nothing on me knocking him out. And then Roman lands a Superman punch on Miz. Miz is in the back, doing a chicken shit heel thing, because some people were complaining. Miz was saying he had a broken jaw, so he can't compete tonight. And some people were complaining, well, how can he say I have a broken jaw and talk? Dude, he's being a fucking cowardly heel. I'd be like if I stubbed my toe and said, I twisted my ankle, I can't go, Same thing. God. I mean, like, seriously, the writing is on the wall, obviously. You just gotta be willing to listen and read it. Anyways, Ali then wound up taunting and teasing Miz again about with the tiny ball thing, and then he said, I'll see you in the ring. So now we come to this match. Really good match. Ali, he was leading at the start. Miz wound up carrying the second half of the match. It was good. I dug it. It was nice. And again, like I said last week, with Ali, with his look, he's got like the Muay Thai shorts, his hands taped up. Dude, I'm telling you, all he needs is an eye patch and a giant scar on him, and he'd be Sagat from Street Fighter. No problem. But now, the match came to an end when Miz was on the outside, and then Dexter Lumis went to go and grab Miz. Miz jumped back, pulled up, got away from him, and then when he turned around, Ali, boom, popped him with one hell of a super kick, then went up and got him with a 450. Afterwards, though, then they showed a thing on the Tron showing WWE investigation story. I really hope they do more of these investigation stories. That was fucking cool. It was almost kind of like WWE Dateline, where Saxon was interviewing Johnny Gargano, talking about on why Dexter Lumis is all up in the Miz's business, and Johnny played a recording showing that Miz was paying Lumis to be a creepy stalker and do all this stuff, just so that way he can get notoriety and publicity and have paparazzi attention on him and such. So, yeah, good way to help build heat on Miz. So now we come to main event of the night. Whew. Whew, need the heart pills. Asuka and Little Miss Bliss, Heart Attack 2.0, as I like to think of them, going against Io and Dakota Kai, and Bianca and Bayley were ringside as well. Nice start, heels were leading into the break. After the commercial, Asuka was the punching bag for a quick cup of coffee, which I looked at that and I was like, well, damn. That's a nice little change of pace. You don't normally see Asuka as the punching bag. Bliss got the hot tag in, and decent enough match. I dug it. Match came to an end. Bianca and Bayley started fighting on the outside. Eventually, Bayley got powerbombed through a production table outside the barricades. And as all that's going on, Dakota got taken out, slammed into the stairs. Io winds up, boom, getting a high kick by Asuka. Asuka tags in Bliss. Bliss then does the Twisted Bliss onto her. 1, 2, 3. So you're winners and new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Asuka and Alexa Bliss. So that is now the new build-up leading into Crown Jewel coming up with the last woman standing between Bianca and Bayley. So that is it for this week's show, folks. So please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the episodes when you can. Look for me on the Twitter at TimVicious. Thank you to my executive producer, Ali Ray Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure y'all check it out. It's on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. All that good shit. Details are down below. Also, thank you to LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. They are a contributor to the show. Make sure you guys check them out. They're a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of men, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, folks, do not forget to follow these cool ass cats right on the Twitter. Kenny Gillen, DSB_Ivy, Diabolica RA, Sergeant Curry Pants and Dubs in your face. And folks, make sure you check out WhatAManeuver.net for some vicious rants apparel. Help support the show and pay the bills. Holidays are coming up. Perfect gift for somebody you love, somebody you hate, or if you just need a t-shirt to help give to help put in a Goodwill donation pile. And folks, like I always tell y'all, if you love me, great. You hate me, fuck you.